Hello and welcome back to the channel. I'm the Nerdiest Potato and today's episode 2 of learning how to hack. Last episode what we went over was setting up your own private network on your computer or desktop, as well as installing Kali Linux and Mr. Robot, which is the virtual machine that we are going to be hacking hopefully by the end of this week. So what we're going to be doing today is going over a few things in Kali Linux and learning how to move around and learning some commands in Kali Linux. So all you're going to need is your laptop and a coffee, because every hacker has coffee, but not everyone with coffee is a hacker. And we're going to need that a little bit later on too. So first thing you're going to want to do is you're going to want to open your VirtualBox, go into your hacking computer, go into network, and you're going to switch it to bridged adapter because we're going to need the internet for this. You're going to open up your virtual machine, and default username and password are Kali and Kali. So let that load. Alright, and then once you're in there, first thing you're going to want to do is make sure it's all up to date. So we're going to do sudo apt-get update. And then enter your sudo password, which is Kali, and then it's going to get all of the updates that you need. So while you wait for that, you can just have some coffee. Alright, once that's done, you're going to go sudo apt space install update. Alright, so yeah, it is for sure updated. So next thing you're going to want to do is just go clear, if you can spell. And all that does is it just clears your terminal. And next go sudo apt-get upgrade. I'm just going to search for upgrades, go Y for yes, and then while that's loading you can just have another coffee break. So if you just installed Kali, it's going to take a little bit of time to get all the updates and upgrades, and if you don't have it installed yet, you can just go into my last video, which is up here, and then I'm also making a playlist which is going to be at the end card. Alright, so once that's done, you're going to go sudo apt install upgrade. Type in your Kali sudo password. So when you get this command several times, it means that it is in fact installed. So you might have noticed that I put sudo, and if you go apt-get update, you'll see that stuff went wrong. So what you're going to do is clear that. So sudo is obviously the key. So what is sudo? Sudo is basically please for a computer. What it does is it gives you permission to do root commands. So if I do add user, username, only a root may add a user or group to the system. So you go sudo add user, username, and it adds the user. So we'll go password, full name, room number, blah, 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 blah. Yes, that's all correct. We'll just pretend it's all correct. So sudo is basically please for computers. Clear that. Let's go ls. And what that does is it lists all of the directories that we have. So let's go into a directory. So let's go cd documents. And now we are in the directory of documents. Let's list. You should not have seen that. Spoiler alert. So let's go cd dot, which brings us back. As you can see, there's a little squiggle, which means that we're in as a user. But what happens if you go further? You're at home, and now you're at just a slash, which is the shell. So let's see what's in there. You see you've got a few things. So you've got bin, home, got a bunch of different libs. You've got sbin, which is bin, but in sudo. But what is bin? Let's find out. So cd bin for change directory, and now we are in the bin. Let's clear that, and then ls to see what's in bin. So there's a bunch of things that came up, and you can see it's all weird things. But what it is it's commands. If you expand this, there we go. Now it shows all of the commands. Whoops. And you can scroll up, and you'll see ls. So let's try to change directory to ls. So let's go cd ls. Is not a directory. So we do cat, and that lists the contents of the file. So cd ls. As you can see, it's a bunch of jibber jabber. that you're not going to be able to understand. If you do understand it, then you're probably a robot and you should probably get that checked out. If you don't understand it, then congratulations, you're a normal human being and subscribe. So yeah, if you're not a robot, you can't read that. So let's just clear that. So let's see if we can add a user. As you can see, there's no add user in this folder. There's add text wrap, add part, but there's no add user. But you're probably thinking, but you just used the add user command. I did, but the add user command is going to be in the sudo bin. So let's go cd sbin, clear ls. As you can see, here is the add user command. Did it freeze again? It froze again. When it does that, you might just have to restart if it freezes. So we'll go restart. Let me actually check this to see how it's running. Yeah, so it is a little heavy on your CPU, but it's not too bad. So if that happens, just restart your machine. You don't need to restart your actual computer. You can if you want to, but it's not necessary. While that's starting up, you can have a coffee break. Alright, so that's back up. Let's log back in. We're back in. Let's open the terminal again. Next, let's go ls. There's no documents in any of these, and there's nothing really of use in here at the moment because everything's empty. So let's make a new directory that we can add things to. So mkdir, which is make directory, and we'll go Mr. Robot Info. So we made a directory, Mr. Robot Info. Let's move into that directory, cd. The other thing you can do is you can highlight the directory that you want to go into and then just drag it down. So let's go ls. There's nothing in here, but let's make a text file for us to write down the information that we're going to gather in the next video. So let's go touch Mr. Robot info.txt. Let's list that. Cat. There's nothing in there. Clear that. ls. Because we messed up, let's remove that and fix it. So rm, let's actually just highlight it. So that's removed. So now let's make a new one that is the actual file. Touch Mr. Robot txt this time. So now it's made a file, and if you go into your folder, you'll see Mr. Robot info, Mr. Robot.txt, and you have a text document. So you can go passwords, info, etc. to save it. So now let's go cat Mr. Robot.txt, and it shows us what we have in that file. So let's just clear that, cd, and now we're back at the home. So if you just type cd, it's just going to bring you back to your user. Alright, so the next thing that you're going to want to do is let's make the username user that we set up earlier, let's make him a root user so that you don't have to do all those sudo commands. So let's go sudo user mod dash a for add dash capital G to group sudo. So we're going to add it to the sudo group. Username, sudo password for Callie, cd.ls. Let's go exit out of this, log out, and then we're going to log in as this user. Username, password, because that's what I set it up with. And as you can see, we are now a user. So let's go into here. Let's go sudo su, and that's going to make us a root. Alright, so now that we did that, log out. So yeah, that's setting up Kali Linux. And then all you want to do is just switch the network back to your internal network and make sure it's on the same network as your victim computer, and you're good to go. You can just exit out of those. I'm going to post all the commands in the description below, and if this was helpful, leave a like and comment other things that you want to see me do, or any suggestions that you have for me, and then also make sure you subscribe if you did enjoy this video and would like to see more. If you do subscribe, you'll become a potato. Potatoes are good things to be, and don't forget to have coffee. Thanks.